Warning: this video contains scenes of violence, stupidity, and useless banter. Viewer discretion is advised. Our tale kicks off with me stepping into the legendary boots of Robin of Locksley, better known as Robin Hood. And who better to join me on this escapade than Friar Tuck, famed for his remarkable ability to make caskets of wine vanish overnight.
I knew how you'd react. Take it easy, Tuck. Your cask supply is safe.
I should think so. It's a strategic reserve for a time of crisis.
What could possibly go wrong when your guide has a talent for making wine disappear quicker than a politician's promises? Friar Tuck informed me that the village is in dire need of assistance, but before I can play the hero, I need a trusty bow, so off I went to gather the materials required for crafting. Couple trees later, I figured it was time to grace the village with my return, and what better way to make an entrance than by attempting a daring leap down the forest slope. Now that I'm back in the village, it's time to unleash my crafting skills. But why stop at just crafting when you can also indulge in a little bit of gloating? I mean, what's the point of mastering a skill if you can't flex a little, right? Behold, Tuck, witness the might of my craftsmanship.
With a bow like this, you have nothing to fear.
Exactly, Tuck. Naturally, my dear friend Tuck was impressed. With bow in hand, it's time to hunt and show Bambi who the real boss of the forest is. Look, I don't want to hear it. The sun was in my eyes and the wind changed direction. You have to believe me. So with my impeccable natural aim, I managed to take down my first deer. With the spoils of the hunt secured, and a sense of triumph coursing through my veins, I made my way back to the village to report my triumph to Friar Tuck. Because let's face it, at this point it feels like Friar Tuck is running the show. I mean, he's got that whole wise old mentor vibe going on.
Allow me to ask, how was the matter of our does? Was your hunt successful?
How long have we known each other that you still need to ask? My eyes haven't failed me this time either. I just hope that there's enough for everyone.
Right, the time for hunting was over. It was time for building. With a feast in the works, I decided it was high time to give the village a bit of a makeover. You know, spruce things up a bit, add a touch of Robin Hood flair. I set out to turn this little hamlet into the hottest real estate this side of Sherwood Forest. And in doing so, help grow my little outlaw group into a formidable force of merry men.
We're men in tights, tights, tights!
With some housing ready to accept anyone willing to join my cause, and hopefully not collapsing on them, it was time to set out and right the wrongs of the King and the Sheriff of Nottingham. I met up with Little John on the outskirts of the village. You know Little John, right?
And if we don't get no tolls, then we don't eat no rolls. I made that up.
He wanted my help to clear out some soldiers stationed nearby. I decided I'd approach this fight with a little bit of finesse, silently taking them out one by one. Of course, things don't always go according to plan, and this was no exception. My first attempt at silent takedown turned into more of a clumsy stumble. I did what any reasonable outlaw would do: run away. After a short jolt of panic, I figured, if I'm going to die here today, I might as well die swinging. Alright, I'll admit it, that didn't exactly go as smoothly as planned. My combat prowess resembled more of a clumsy dance routine than a heroic showdown. But hey, I got the job done, and to keep morale high, all Little John needs to know is that the mission was a well-planned success.
I'll have a look around the area as soon as I feel better.
By the way, do you ever miss our looting days? Remember how one time you had me put on a frog and...
Well, I myself pretended to be blind to fool the sheriff. Yes, I remember. Good times, John.
Well, maybe my mission wasn't so badly executed after all, especially after hearing what little John had to go through in previous encounters. Let's just say, compared to past Robin, I looked like a master of stealth. With my newfound passion to rob from the rich and to give to the poor burning brighter than ever, I set out to find more camps occupied by the king's soldiers. But next time, I'll be extra careful. No more wrong weapons or accidentally alerting the guards. Nope, it's going to be a smooth, stealthy mission.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
After my, let's call it successful infiltration of the soldiers' camp, I couldn't help but notice a wanted poster flapping in the wind as I made my way through the forest. To my dismay, the bounty for yours truly haven't even gone up. I mean, talk about a lack of appreciation for my talents. This simply won't do. If I'm going to be the thorn in the side of the king and the sheriff, they need to know that I mean business. It's time to step up my game and give them a taste of the legendary outlaw they're dealing with. And what better way to make a statement than by interrupting a good old-fashioned beheading, the king's soldiers' favorite pastime. I knew I could not afford another blunder. This arrow had to hit its mark. I let loose. The strike was true. The beheading stopped, at least for now. The real fight is just beginning. This fight was over, and a poet was saved to entertain another day. But the fight against the king and his sheriff is only beginning. As I made my way across the countryside, from the downtrodden villages ravaged by the sheriff's insatiable greed, to the lofty hills where the king's lackeys made camp, my resume expanded faster than a medieval marketplace on market day. I found myself becoming a Swiss army knife of skills, helping distressed villagers, solving riddles, and liberating a few choice treasures from the royal coffers. With my newfound wealth, I embarked on a spree of construction, erecting more houses, establishing forges, lumber yards, and shooting ranges, all in the noble pursuit of building a better future and kicking tyranny to the curb. Yes, I may have started off with a blunder that nearly cost me my life, but look at me now, the hero of the common folk, the champion of the unprivileged, well, you get the idea. But let's not kid ourselves. The Merry Men isn't all fun and games. There's serious business afoot, and it goes by the name of the Greys. A noble family with a liking of pilfering mines and padding their pockets with ill-gotten gains. It's high time someone gave them a taste of their own medicine, and who better than yours truly? The Greys might think they're untouchable, but they're about to find out that even the mightiest trees can be felled with a well-aimed axe, or in my case, a well-shot arrow. As I ventured through the mines, attempting to remain as stealthy as possible, nothing could have prepared me for the final showdown. Upon reaching the locked door, I was greeted by the mastermind behind it all. What followed was a tense game of ring-a-rosy as I skillfully maneuvered around the room.
You serious?
Trying to keep my distance as I opted to use a bow. If I were to send a message, it had to be done with a bow and arrow. Thanks for watching the first episode of the Sherwood Tales. Like and subscribe to keep the Lone Bar Tales going. I'll see you in the next one.